Hi, hello, how are you? Amanda, Seint artist. We're going to talk about color correcting. So I enjoy color correcting a lot. Do I need color correcting? Probably not, but you know what? It makes me feel good. And that's all that matters. So with my color correcting, this is what makes me feel good. No, I don't use all of these. These are just a lot of the options that I recommend for people. These are my most frequently recommended colors that I use for people. I'm going to tell you why I color correct, how I color correct, how to make it work with 3D, and why I don't use some things for color correcting, which might surprise some people. All right, so why do I color correct? Because it makes me feel good, gosh darn it. Why do I wear makeup? Because it makes me feel good, gosh darn it. So that's all that matters. If you feel good when you look in the mirror, if you feel good when you walk out the door, that's when makeup matters. That's when it matters. If you feel good walking out without makeup, that's what matters. It's up to you. These are the things that work for me, that make me feel good. So Seint makeup, cream-based 3D foundation. Everything in here is foundational coverage. It's 80% pigmentation. Traditional makeup is 18%. So less is more. You don't need as much as you traditionally did. If you needed color correcting with your old makeup, you may not need it with Seint makeup because of the high pigmentation. Let me help you. You tell me what you want out of your makeup and I will help you achieve that. And that's what I'm here for. And when you get your makeup, I'm still here. Please remember that. Even after you order, even after you receive, even after you've used it a couple of times, I'm still here for you. Biggest tool you have, right here. It's not a brush, it's not a palette, it's not a color corrector. Me. I'm your best tool because I love talking about it. I love playing with it. I love learning new things. I love troubleshooting. And that's it. So let's get into color correcting. I'm going to start off by saying I only use one Demi color. I get asked all the time, why don't you use Demi for your color correcting? And the number one reason is it was never intended to be a color corrector with your 3D makeup. Demi was intended to be a standalone product. It is cream, it does not set, and it will move. So when you color correct and then apply something on top of it, it will move, which then, why the heck did you color correct it in the first place? It just mixed with your makeup. I use one color under my eyes for color correcting that is Demi. I do not put Demi anywhere else on my face. I have tried it. I have put the work in. I've given the options, and I just don't like the longevity of Demi under my 3D. I don't even like the longevity of it over my 3D, and that's where I'm going to stop on talking about Demi. If you have more questions, certainly ask me. I'm here to answer them, but I do not use Demi anywhere else on my face other than my under eyes because it was never intended to be put there with my makeup. That's it. Let's move on. So I'm going to use my one Demi color. I'm going to show you two options for color correcting. This is Frenchie. It is a lip and cheek color. I do like this color. They both do the same thing, but different. They both correct my under eye darkness. One brightens, one neutralizes. That's the only difference with these colors. So I'm going to take my Demi brush. It's the spot brush. And I'm going to take and go into Y01. That's this color right here. I'm going to pick up product on the brush. This Demi color is going to last you over a year. You use very little product to achieve what you want. And when you are applying Demi to any color corrector, especially under the eyes, do not apply it around the dark area. You will only need to apply it where the darkness is. So for me, it's just on this inner corner and down my trough and up into the corner. I'm going to flip it to the fluffy end and I am going to blend it out. This is all I need to do with that Demi. Use very little product. It blends out seamlessly without adding texture. That's it. So Frenchie is a lip and cheek color. I do like to recommend that. When I recommend under eyes, I will sometimes tell you both and you get to decide. There's a price point difference. Demi's in the 20s and Frenchie is in the teens. That's the price difference. It's ever changing, so I'm not posting exact prices anymore. All right. When it comes to Frenchie, it's a lip and cheek. I like it because you can neutralize under your eye. I put a little bit on my finger here, and I'm putting this in the area of the darkness over here. This is going to make it a little pink under my eye, but it has neutralized the darkness, and that's it. But the other nice thing about Frenchie is it's a beautiful cheek color, and it's a beautiful lip color. So you can neutralize, you can use it as a blush, you can use it as a lip. So it's not a one-trick pony kind of color, whereas Y01 is for coloring. Changing and neutralizing the color under your eye. It's not a blush color, it's not a lip color. It's going to brighten and neutralize at the same time. So you get to make the decision all on your own. Those are the two colors for your under eyes that I would recommend. All right, let's talk about scarring, rosacea, redness around the nose. I recommend Aspen. It is a contour color. It is obviously a gray tone, and I like it because it's dense. This is why I don't use Demi. Demi is creamy, it's not dense, and I feel like as you get older and your pigmentations get deeper and your pores get larger, using a color like Aspen, because of its density, it holds your makeup better, and it also helps with neutralizing the larger pores, which I'm getting just in this area. So I'm gonna use the blend brush. This is a great color correcting brush. I'm gonna go into Aspen, and I am going to go over my redness right here. If you have rosacea, I definitely recommend Aspen first because I like the density and the way it holds your makeup on when you put it over. Now, anytime you are color correcting on your face, look how the redness is just neutralized. You can still see the spots, but you don't see the redness, and that's color correcting. We're not color covering. And so when you're putting this Aspen color on, it is neutralizing the redness, and the density is gonna hold the makeup there and stay there when you apply your makeup over top. I have a little blemish scar right back here, and I'm gonna put it in the area. It's not about touching it exactly where it needs to be, put it in the area. That's why I like Aspen. This is going to help with your larger pores. This is going to help with redness that you get around your nose. And if you have rosacea, I suggest trying this first because again, it's really great for holding that makeup on when you're putting your makeup on over top of all your color correcting. The other suggestion I will give when you have rosacea and maybe Aspen does not work for you, which I have had people, it's all troubleshooting. Trust me, I cannot possibly recommend the perfect solution for everyone. But June is a highlight color that has green undertones. And I do have customers who use that over their rosacea using a light application brush like the blend brush over their rosacea using June, and then they go on with their makeup. June not as a highlight, as a color corrector. Again, everybody is different, and I wanted to create this video to give everybody the options they need. Another really great color when you have acne scarring is mango. A lot of people just like to tap a little mango on over that color correcting just to give a little extra coverage if you have very deep, I don't want to call them pock marks, but they're like pock marks because I used to get cystic acne, so my scarring is big and it's bright. And so sometimes I'll just go over that Aspen with a little bit of mango on the apples of my cheeks because that's where it really wants to pull through once my makeup's on, especially once I start playing with my blush. I have a little pinky orange scar here. I'm just going to use the small end and I'm going to go into Aspen, tapping in, and I'm just going to rub it on and neutralize the color down. I have a little pimple right here. Grab a little bit of Aspen and you just go over the area. You are feathering this on. It is a very light application, but you can see most of my scarring is gone. It's neutralized and it's down. That's it. So let's talk about melasma. I have a melasma spot here. I have one here, and I'm getting more just as I grow. I've got some over on they're growing. They're ever coming. I'm 41 years old. It's going to happen and I have to accept it. 2 colors that I recommend, and they're right here. This is the new lip liner Suede. Works really well with camouflaging melasma. Then there's tan lines. This is a bronzer, also really good. You can't go wrong with both. It's all a matter of what your tones are on your skin. So when you color match with me and you tell me that melasma is an issue, I'll probably have you take a special picture of that and I'll color match it and I'll give you my suggestion. So I'm gonna use Suede, the lip liner. I like to recommend this one first because one, it's great contour for your lips, but it's also extra dense. It's more dense than the bronzers. So I'm just going to take that fluffy end and I'm going to go around my melasma here and I'm going to come up. I have melasma over my brow and I have one coming in on my temple. So I'm just taking it, I stamp it. I never wipe my brushes through my creams. I don't want my bristles sticking together. I'm going around my spot, draping it up. And here it's adding a little bit of warmth. It's dense, so it's going to hold my product on when I correct. And it looks natural. And it's camouflaged my color. Same thing, tapping it in, and I have a melasma spot coming in right here, going around it, camouflaging it, and I'm almost applying it as if it's a blush, because I like the way it camouflages best, rather than just doing one big spot. So I'm just draping this down my cheek and up. And I could stop here and I could go about my day. and I could feel good about it. And that's color correcting. But still, my eyes look different. I have Frenchie over here, adding a little pinkness, but neutralizing. And then I also have Y01 Demi over here. This is brightening and correcting at the same time. That's color correcting. Now let's talk about how we apply our makeup over color correcting, because there is a way. There's a right way and a wrong way. And one of the biggest key I can tell you is stipple, stamp, spounce, whatever you want to call it. That's how you will apply it. This is a great application for mature skin, but also anytime you're going over color correcting, because we're not wanting to mix it together. We're wanting to keep it where it is, and we're wanting to apply our makeup first. All right, I'm going to stick with the blend brush with applying my main highlight, because you can very easily over apply. So I'm going to go into my main highlight. Right now I am Sandy, and that's the color I'm going to stamp into. Always tapping in, never wiping. You don't want your bristles sticking together. And when I put my main highlight on, I avoid from my cheekbones up. I never apply a main highlight, because everything's foundational coverage. You don't need to use more product than is necessary. So I'm going to put this down here on the lower part of my jaw under my cheekbone. I'm not going over any of the color correcting I did right up here. I'm going to come up and around my mouth and down my chin. But I'm stamping this in, moving it into the crease of my nose. I never want to apply cream directly to that crease or my smile line, because it moves and it can clump, and if you can add too much product. Grabbing some extra right here, grabbing it again, and we're going to go down the jaw, around the mouth, up into the crease of the nose, and down. And that's it. That's all you need. This is highly pigmented makeup, so always remember, less is more. When you're applying this makeup, you want to apply it as if you don't have any imperfections. If you try to cover everything at the beginning, you're going to over apply. It happens to everybody. I looked like a wedding cake the first week I had this makeup. It's going to be okay. But talk to me. Again, I am here even after you get your makeup. I'm here. I'm waiting for you. I want you to love this makeup. So talk to me. All right, that's it for my main highlight. That's it. Pretty darn easy. Yes? Everybody says, you make it look so easy. It is. It is easy. Is it different? Absolutely. Is it worth the work? Absolutely. Okay, I'm going to go into my brightening color. Your brightening color is a couple shades lighter than your actual skin tone. This is going to add reflective light, foundational coverage, and dimension. Pretty easy. I'm going to go to the small end of my blend brush, tapping in, not clumping my brush, and I'm going to go between my brows. Right here, just make a little hammock. And then you're going to come down the nose. I'm pushing this over my brows, up towards the mid of my forehead, and over. Look at how nice that looks. It's nice. It looks like a bright light reflecting off my face, but it doesn't look like a big white spot. I'm going to grab some more, and I'm going to go down the bridge of my nose, which is going to widen my nose. This is how you can tell that contouring is a thing, because adding just lightness down my nose widened my nose. Going down my nose, and we're going to go right here and right here. All this is doing is reflecting light. We have light that hits in the middle. That's all we're doing right here, right here. This is going to accentuate the prettiness of your mouth. That's it. Okay? Boom. We're done. We're done. We're done. We're done. We're going to move on to contour. Contour, I want you to think about where your natural shadowing is. I have natural shadowing on the side of my forehead. I have natural shadowing on my cheekbones, my nose, my jaw. We have natural shadowing. So all we're going to do is accentuate that. I'm going to switch brushes, and I'm going to go to the detail brush. It's my favorite contour brush. I always contour with this brush because this side is so good. We're going to go into the color Astoria. I kind of want to grab another one. So Astoria is one of our darker, cool tones, whereas Indigo, which let me see if I can find it. This makeup is incredibly forgiving. Indigo. That's how easy it is to switch out a color too. Isn't that nice? Okay, two colors here. Indigo, this is my favorite. It's our darkest, not our darkest, but this is a good, deep, warm tone versus a dark, cool tone. Really good. This makeup is incredibly forgiving. Okay, if you don't have to worry about, oh no, I put on too much. I'm going to show both. So I'm going to go into Astoria, again, stamping in. My bristles are not stuck together. And I'm going to put this on the side of my forehead. It's dark, it's scary, but don't worry, it's incredibly forgiving. We can put it on the sides and then you blend it, okay? Using little circles, you just bring them together, pushing in towards the hairline and just following that natural shadow. You can over apply this, but you can also blend this down, and you could even over blend this to where you don't even see it. Okay, so I have just focused this on the outer sides where I have natural shadowing, pushed it down towards my temple, and now I'm going to take that fluffy end of my blend brush, and I'm going to pull from that lightness into the darkness, and it's just going to give everything a blend. This is why I don't need to apply my main highlight to my forehead, because once my light and my contour merge together, it creates a balance, and I just don't need it. That's a good looking forehead. I have foundational coverage, I have dimension, and it's pretty. All right, let's get into that scary indigo color, okay? I'm gonna go in with my finger here. Look at that. You can make this as deep as you want. Think about what you're letting out, what you're pushing in. We're going to want to let out here. I'm wanting to push in here because I have a bump. I'm letting out, and then I'm pushing in again. And I'm wanting to create a straight line down the side of my nose, and I'm just gonna square it off. This looks very dark, looks very deep, but you can apply this in a really nice way. Using your fingers is very easy. I'm just gonna take this brush, and I'm tapping this down, and I'm creating a shadow, and I'm able to slim and straighten my nose. Look at how nice that looks. Take care of the tip, come around. I'm gonna take my finger, and I'm gonna tap up that brightening middle. And that's it. Using a deep color like indigo doesn't need to be scary, because this is such forgiving makeup. Creams blend well with creams. You're not worrying about a powder contour sticking to that liquid foundation you put on or that concealer you put on. All right, we're gonna do our cheek. I'm gonna go into Scary Indigo again. It is my favorite. I'm gonna push this onto the edge of my brush. You can see where it is. I'm not clumped, but you can see it because I tapped in. So I'm going to hang it back on the back part of my cheekbone. Right there. That's it. That's all I need to do. And I did the color correcting over here, and so I'm just tapping this really lightly onto my cheekbone, just like that. What's left on my brush, I'm gonna empty out on my jawline. I'm gonna go in front of my earlobe and down, in front of my earlobe and down, and I go in front of my earlobe because I'm chiseling my jaw. I'm creating a shadow, I'm creating structure, and then if I had any extra contour on my brush, I'm able to hide my chins, pulling it down, I'm emptying the brush. So when it comes to contour, you want to hold your brush right about in the middle because you don't want a lot of pressure. You want to keep it at an angle, and you just want to tap, pushing up onto that cheekbone. But you want to underblend this. You don't want it to look perfect. You want it to just look a little blended, just like that. This is going to give you lift on your cheek. Same thing over here. Just tapping back and forth, blending it out, but tapping. We're not rubbing, we're tapping, because we have that color corrector underneath. And so we're not wanting to lift things, move things. We want it to stay where it is. And using something dense like suede and aspen will hold that makeup where it is. And that's why I like using those colors over Demi, because Demi doesn't have that hold that a denser contour lip liner has. Okay, let's get into bronzers. I do love me some bronzer. And I am going to use, thought I grabbed it. I'm going to use, hello Amanda, Bella bronzer. I love Bella bronzer. It is my favorite. It's not in that one. It is not in that one. It's not in that one. It's right here. Bella bronzer. It's my favorite. It's just creamy. It's good. I like it so that I can add warmth to my face. So I'm going to take that blend brush. I'm going to tap onto it. It is very creamy. So I'm just going to start on the high points above my brows just to add that skosh of warmth. Give me a sun-kissed look. Grabbing a little more, and I'm going to go over, you see that contour? We're going to go over the top, on the top of it, just like that, and bring it up. I'm not trying to make it perfect. I'm just trying to kind of splotch it there to go with my blush, draping it up, just like that. It's so, so pretty. Now, as you're blending your contours, as you're blending your blushes, it's going to be blending, as you're blending your bronzer and your blushes, it's going to blend down that contour we underblended. That way we're not blending it away. All right, let's grab a blush color. Everybody likes a good neutral color. Now, when we're talking about blushes, everybody says, I'm not seeing it. You may be blending too much, or maybe you're using just too neutral of a blush color. I'm going to introduce you to a color I'm really loving lately. It's a Demi color. This is RV7. It's so, so pretty, but I'm also going to show you how this works. Okay, so we're going to go in with the blend brush. I'm going to go into, this is nude. Everybody loves nude, and typically the people who love nude say, I'm just not seeing my blush. It's a neutral color. You're not going to. So I'm tapping my brush into it. Again, not clumping my bristles together. Nope, not clumping them together. And I like to start towards the top, and then I bring it down, smiling so I can see the apples of my cheek. And this just adds a really nice plummy blush color. Pretty nice, right? But everybody's like, oh, it's just not bold enough. I'm not seeing it. Well, it's not a bold blush. Maybe you're not using a bold blush when actually you do want to. Okay, let's jump it up a notch. Let's go into RV7, which is very similar to Black Cherry. You're going to tap into it very carefully, and you're going to add. That's going to bump it up a notch. If your blush is not showing up, you're not using the right blush color. You want something a little more bold. With Demi, pigmentation's higher than 80%, I promise you. So you want a very little amount. Tap less. And I'm just going to tap this over, and it bolds it up. You could take any color and just add a pink to it, but maybe using a neutral color is the reason why you're not loving your cheeks. It's neutral. It's not going to show up. If you're using Hollywood, Madrid, Frenchy, nude, plum, if you're using those colors and you're not seeing them the way you want to, it's because they're neutral. Try Dahlia. Try using Sandstone. Try using RV7. Try using Baby Watermelon, Pink Grapefruit. Try using those colors and you'll see your blush. And then don't worry about blending too much. That's it. That's how easy this is. All right, let's go in, and we're gonna go into that suede color right here, and I'm gonna contour my lips. I'm going to go in with the multitasker brush, and I'm gonna go into suede, and I'm gonna outer line my lip just on the bottom middle, right there. And this is gonna create a shadow, just like that. We're creating a shadow. Don't worry about anything else. We're creating a shadow. I'm just gonna clean this off, and I'm gonna go into my brightener. Going into Versailles, that brightener I used, we're gonna go up, and we're creating a greater than, less than, greater than, less than. We're gonna tap it all together now. Now adding that greater than, you start on the outside of the contour and into the corners of the lips. That is gonna create dimension, contrast. It's also gonna create a pout, but it also keeps that contouring on the top from looking like a mustache. All right, we are going to go in with suede again, and I'm gonna line my lips, hanging onto that edge, not outer lining. I'm using it as a lip liner. We're gonna go on the edge, not the outside, right on the edge. I'm gonna go into that Frenchy color I put under my eye, and I'm gonna make this really, really pretty lip color. It is a satin finish, which can look a bit drying on the lips. Make sure you tap it. If you wipe too much, just finish with tapping to hide that texture it can create. I'm gonna go into my Demi Balm and just pop some on the middle. It's such a pretty neutral lip. I'm going in Neutral City here. Okay, I did my under eyes differently. I have Demi Y01 over here. I have Frenchy under this eye here. When you're doing your under eyes, this is key. Less is more. Your under eyes, whether you have fine lines and puffiness, whether you have it or not, you can easily texture where there is no texture, and that is because it's a soft tissue. There's nothing under between the orbital bone and your eyeball. There's nothing holding it up, so you can very easily add crepiness to your under eyes by adding too much product and using powder. Seint, you don't need to use that powder unless you want a really matte finish, and you have the control over how dewy and how matte your makeup is. Because it's creams, it's going to have a natural dewy finish. I'm going in with my blend brush on the small end. I'm going to tap very lightly into my Versailles. This has pink undertones. Let's pay attention to how this looks. So I did Frenchy under this eye, Y01 under this eye. We are going to tap this below the trough. If you have puffiness, we can camouflage it. We can't get rid of it. If you have fine lines, we can camouflage it, but we can't get rid of it. You cannot get rid of texture. Texture will always be there. It's skin. So start under that trough and we're gonna tap it up to the corner. And we're just gonna push this up over, tapping over that color corrector Frenchie. And we're just tapping this on the orbital bone, bringing it up to that soft tissue in the corner. Look at that, it looks almost identical to just using Y01. I'm gonna tap in a little more and I'm gonna go right up here and I'm just gonna pull this up. I'm pushing on my orbital bone, but I'm cleaning up my eyeshadow and then I'm creating eye lift. Look at how pretty brightening is. A lot of people are wondering, do I need brightening? No, you can absolutely do this with your main highlight. Brightening just is a little extra kick in your step. Flipping it to the fluffy end, tapping it in. It just creates this lift and this brightness that's very similar to Y01. Take some of this Versailles and I'm going under that trough and up into the corner. I'm doing this exactly the same on this side as I did on the other side. Grabbing more, giving my eyes some lift, cleaning up, flipping it to the fluffy end, giving that final blend, just tapping around. Okay, let's take a look at my under eyes. This is key. It's a bit brighter over here. Using Demi Y01, they do the same thing. Demi Y01 corrects and brightens. So when you put your brightener on, it might make it a little extra poppy, more of a pop under your eye. I like that. Using Frenchie, you have a good lip color. You can use it as a cheek color. It still accomplishes the same thing. It's just not as bright. It's more neutral, but it's good. I'm gonna grab some setting spray. I have oily skin. I use Charlotte Tilbury or Urban Decay. Spray around. Now, if you have too much makeup on, if you ever feel you have too much makeup on, find a kabuki brush. I'm going to use the blush and bronzer on the fluffy end. You're just going to tap over. If you ever feel like you have too much makeup, tap over those areas. This gives a good final blend, but it will also pick up excess makeup without compromising the look of your makeup. My contour is not as bold as it was. It's been muted down. It's been blended down to perfection. This is good makeup. Makeup is always going to look like makeup on the skin, but it should look like good makeup. And this is good makeup. All right, I've taken up enough of your time, but that is color correcting. That's all the options. That's why I do, that's why I don't. That's my color correcting. Message me if you want to try this makeup. Message me if you have any questions. Message me. Message me. I'm here. If you've been using the makeup and you have questions, I'm here. That's why you buy this makeup. Nobody from Sephora or Ulta is going to call you. I might, when that's not true. I'm going to wait for you. I'm going to wait for you. I know this makeup. I love this makeup. I'm here for you. Have a great day.